Well, good morning, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world, everywhere. There's going to be a recording of this, a clip of this, or even just the live version going on. As you arrive, don't forget to like, share, and follow. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, The Art of Monty Anderson. Hopefully, you're all doing great out there. I was woken up way earlier than I was wanting to this morning. And so we'll see how the day's show goes. Sometimes when you wake up earlier than expected, you don't function as fully properly as you want to. Sorry, I was doing a little bit of painting this morning. So, welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. Don't forget to like, share, and follow when you get here. And if you would, if you like the show, because we talk about horror, we talk about sci-fi, we talk about comic books, comic book movies, comic book artwork, my artwork, all that goody good stuff. And we just have fun around here. Or we try to. Sometimes it doesn't always work out the way we want it to, but it does most of the time. I had something I was going to talk about, but for the life of me, I can't figure out what it was. I was thinking about it last night. And I was just like, what's today's show going to be about? And that's why it has Memory Fades as the title of today's show. Because I don't remember what I was thinking, what I was going to talk about. It was something that was hitting my head that was just like, hey, we should talk about that. And I can't think of what it was. Do you guys know what it was? I can't think of what it was. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. We'll figure something out for today. That's what we do a lot of times. What's up out there? Welcome to the broadcast booth. The park bench. Nice, nice. So, all right. Super sore from the workout this week. Went extra heavy on a lot of the stuff. Good morning, Casey. Welcome to the show. Roy should be here because he's awake. Don't know if he's going to last the whole show or not, but he should be here. Um, he was out there in the world earlier. I don't know what he's doing now. Probably getting all lathered up with his Miracle Whip. Who knows? I know that scars a lot of people's eyes and things like that. Just thinking about that scenario, but don't think about it too hard. It's just something he does on a regular basis. It's kind of like sunscreen for him now. Um, so how are y'all doing out there? Seriously, like I said, I did have something I was going to talk about, but I can't even think of what the hell I was going to talk about this morning. I did do a little bit of rearranging, as you can see the black hole behind me. I put a bookcase up there on its side on top of the refrigerator. I'm going to put in my Nicky Knacks that are off the top. This mic right here, it is the live sound card. It comes with this little piece right here as well. Boom, boom, boom. It's not hooked up to my phone. My phone has an extra set of microphones like this. And this is which one is this one? I can't remember which one this one is. I just got rid of the box yesterday, so I couldn't tell you which one it is. But it is off the TikTok shop. Both of these are off the TikTok shop. This microphone right here does have the sound diffuser that goes with it as well, so that we can talk a little different and hear it a little different, and not have so much of the twang going on. I have audio stuff plugged in. Cool, cool. But yeah, this came with a whole kit. The sound card right here gives you 12 different um like laugh tracks and yells and different things like that you can record, like on my other one where I'm recording on OBS. If I said something funny, I would hit the applause button or the laughter button. And we've done that before and it doesn't turn out well. So I'm going to politely decline the joining, but you can tell us all you want to tell us right here in here. Um, like I said, I have done that before and it didn't turn out very well. So I apologize, you know, and but you can tell us what you need to tell us. It's not a big deal, like I said. But we try not to do the whole guest thing, appearances here, because we don't know people. You know, we know people, but we don't know people. And it's nothing against you, the park bench. It's just that we just okay. So I'm using it wrong. Okay, I'm using it. I'm using it, and I'm using it, and I've been using it. So what's wrong with it? What? Why is it so wrong? I'm looking it over. Yes, this is the top. I also have the crowd pleaser piece that goes on top of it too. If I really wanted to put that on there, but I'm not. Right. Well, you know, in here, and you can see the mic inside as you look around, and I'm hearing everything I need to hear on here, and it records well. Makes it sound quiet. No, it sounds pretty good. I hear it just fine. You know, all that good stuff. And I mean, you're the expert with it apparently. So I'm not, but I appreciate your input. But you have a nice day as well. But it's not quiet to me. Now this one right here could be, what you're talking about being quiet. So, but I think everybody can hear me, or I would have people saying, "I can't hear you. I can't hear you." You guys can hear me, okay, right? I mean, I don't technically need the air buffer on, but you guys can hear me, okay, right? Right. So, how is everybody doing out there? Like I said, I was woken up a little bit earlier than I wanted to be, like two different times this morning. Um, and so, not the greatest of starts to the morning, but you know, all that goody good stuff. So, exactly. And I hear myself just fine up here, and I think you guys can hear me just fine down here, even with the sound buffer piece on to keep the wind, keep me from going, into your ears, down there. But I mean, everybody's an expert on something, as you see me roll my eyes. But I'm Batman. But no, everybody is an expert on something, and everybody has their opinion, which is like an asshole. Everybody's got one, but some stink. Not saying his information did stink because you can see the mic inside, and it is a full mic in here. You know, so I'm not sure which mic he's using, but this one I can see where the mic is inside here, and if I were to take this little cover off, which I don't think I can without breaking it, but it's got a full mic set up on the inside of here. So, um, and I can hear, like I said, just fine up here. And the recording comes out just fine. It doesn't make me quiet. Now, if I'm sitting here doing this, it gets much, much louder. It probably gets a little louder for you guys down here, too. I'm not sure. Because, I'm very, very close to the mic right here. But if you do the normal, like most people, whenever they are doing their broadcast, they sit away from the mic, just a little bit. And everybody can seem to hear me. I can hear me just fine. And yes, I know this is the top of the mic. But anyway, it is what it is. But like I said, when memories fade, because I did have something, like I said, I wanted to talk about, but I have no fucking idea what it was now as I'm sitting here, you know, because I was thinking about it last night as I was laying in bed. I was like, hey, I could talk about that. And then all of a sudden, it's gone. But like I said, I've got the black hole going on up here. It's a 6-hole bookcase that I laid on its side and put on top of the refrigerator. I'm going to reposition my Nicky Knack stuff that you see down here. Right here. Bum, bum, bum. Mr. Batman. Right there. We'll go back up in there, as well as Billy the Puppet, Art the Clown, and Diego here. We'll find a home, a little nook in there, Mr. Diego. And don't forget to like, share, and follow as you get here. And we talk about horror, we talk about sci-fi, we talk about comic books, comic book artwork, my comic books, and things of that nature. I've got some new pieces that I'm laying down because I saw some discussion on a certain character, and it's something that I hadn't heard of because even though I'm a comic book guy, I'm not in the know of some of the new stuff that's happening. You know, it's just like whenever Absolute Batman came out, I didn't know that was happening until after the fact. Um, when Batman Who Laughs came out originally, I didn't know about it until after the fact. You know, because a lot of the newer stuff I'm not following, if that makes sense. I like my older stuff um, from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. And here we are in 2025, 2026. And, there's a whole lot of new stuff coming out, which is cool, but I'm just not in the know of everything that's coming out at this particular moment. Now, with that being said, there's some new comic book movies coming out, such as Spider-Man Noir, that's starring Nicolas Cage, um, where he plays the detective Spider-Man side of it all, black and white, with a touch of color in there. So that's why it's called Noir. They did a whole Noir section with the X-Men. They did Spider-Man. They did. Trying to think of which other characters they did in a noir setting at one point in time. And you've seen the Spider-Man Noir if you've seen any of the Through the Spider-Verse cart or animated or CGI, however you want to do it, however you want to call it, movies. If you've seen any of those, you've seen Spider-Man Noir show up in those movies. So same concept, just on a live action scale with Nicolas Cage playing the Peter Parker version. I can't remember what his name actually is, but I'm pretty sure it's a Peter Parker version in a multiverse, out there. So that one comes out in March, I believe. Right around the same time as you can go to the book signing on March the 8th for the novels that I'm doing the covers for. All right, so um, rearranging the office. Today is that's what I was gonna wear. I wasn't gonna wear this today. I was gonna wear a Friday the 13th shirt. Damn it. Because today is Friday the 13th, the day right before Valentine's Day. So not only is Jason Voorhees visiting your house at this moment, getting his milk and cookies and a little bit of bloodshed. Um, Tomorrow you can watch all your favorite Valentine's horror movies like My Bloody Valentine or Heart Eyes, which isn't out in theaters yet, but it will be. Um, but there's a lot of great Valentine's Day massacre horrors out there. If you're interested in something like that for your loved one. And if you're single out there, all I can tell you is that if you're single for Valentine's Day, get in your car, throw your seatbelt on because it'll hold you. So, um, sorry, just something I saw the other day. Um, Go change shirts. We'll wait. No, I'm good. Um, I don't want to wake up the rest of the house because the pigs have already done their number this morning. I'm tired. Uh, let's see how many there are out there. Dun, dun, dun. We're thinking. I don't give a shit if you're thinking. Just give me. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. So, My Bloody Valentine, obviously. Did I say what? Yes, we still have Aussie shirts. You need to buy 5 more. As a matter of fact. Dun, 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 dun. What's this shirt right here that I'm wearing, Dan? This is my Raven shirt from the DC Universe. This is one of my fan favorites. This is a design I made, but it is a fan favorite. It isn't a hot pink. It looks red here, but on the recording that I'm doing, it shows the hot pink that it's on because she is. Be nice to have one. Might as well eventually, whenever you come get it. But yes, this is a fan favorite of the Ravens that I did. I did 2 different Ravens. Raven Black Home, I believe is her name, last name. But she is a mystic uh, goth chick, basically. And this is, again, a fan favorite of my artwork. Let's see, you got My Bloody Valentine, 1981. My Bloody Valentine 3D in 2009. You got Valentine, 2001. It's a slasher focusing on a second childhood outcast hunting women with a Cupid mask. And then you got Hard Eyes, 2025, which apparently is out, so I was right. And then The Love Witch of 2016. So those are some of the ones that you can watch that are Valentine's Day related. Now you got Warm Bodies as well. The Friday the 13th shirt that I've got is black, but it's not my artwork. I do have my Jason Voorhees down here. I have to remove some of my autograph pictures so I can find my. This one isn't my horror side. I mean, I do have Dexter in here. But that is not my horror side. But I can do. I haven't made them into shirts yet. Oh, like the Art the Clown one. Just cleared those paints. But right here is a good old Friday the 13th piece right there that I haven't done anything with as far as shirts go. So I'm thinking about doing some different ones when it comes to Friday the 13th. With some of my horror stuff, I'm thinking about redoing some uh, more figure related than the the action that's happening behind. And yes, this is blocked out because there's boobies included in this one. Several of my slasher ones I've got boobies. And whenever you go to conventions, you have to cover up some boobies, like up here on this one, over here, right here. You got boobies behind Michael Myers. And then, of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, not so much boobies. And then you've got, of course, David and Chucky. So there's a lot of shirts that I can still do and create. I just haven't decided which ones I want to really do yet. Just because I do have a ton of cool ones that people always comment on whenever they see them at the shows or they buy them at shows. And that's why I went ahead and did Pinhead because he's one of the most popular horror icons out there. Why I went ahead and did a shirt of him, you know. But today I was going to wear my Friday the 13th attire, not mine per se, but this one's been a decent hit, Mr. Jeffrey Dahmer, eating a good meal of sausage. And then Stephen King over here will probably get turned into a shirt. I'm not sure yet. Stephen King's a popular guy, but he's not that popular. And then there's always Bela Lugosi right there coming at you. Don't let him charm you, or you'll be his forever. Until he gets staked. Until he gets a stake to the heart. And then, all the transparency wears off. And then, of course, Lady Death. Who can go wrong with some Lady Death? There's two different ones in here. There's the booby version and the normal version right there. So, um, and then just your typical Dragon Ball Z stuff. Um, so there's the pictures right there. Boom, 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 of the shirt that I'm wearing right here of Raven, and then the other Raven that I did. And I've had orders on this one before, but just this one was the fan favorite, 100%. They loved this one over this one. So if Dan is still here, there's that info on him. But yeah, that's that with those. That's the horror section of it all. And like I said, I want to do some different ones to where I have more of the slasher aspect going on with it instead of just focusing on their face. Kind of like more of the Michael Myers and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where you see more of the figure with their weaponry than before I do shirts on those. So I'm probably going to just redo some new ones um, and go that route. So I'm not 100% sure yet what I want to do yet. But yeah, which horror movies have you seen for Valentine's Day? Have you seen My Bloody Valentine from back in the 81 era? Have you seen My Bloody Valentine 3D? I'm trying to see. There's Cupid as well out there. The Loved Ones. So Bones and All is a new horror movie that is out. It was released in 2022, so it's a newer horror movie. It's more of a love story, zombie love story kind of, and kind of like Warm Bodies. If you've never seen Warm Bodies, that one's a pretty interesting one as well. Um, I'm gonna check out Bones and All. It's not really my cup of tea, um, but it was recommended by one of the horror people that I follow on TikTok that does horror movie reviews, and they say it's a good one to watch. It gets you in your feels, which is not going to get me in my feels, but whatever. Um, but Warm Bodies was a fun, campy little zombie movie. If you've never seen that one before, um, that one was really good. And then, of course, you've got The Bride of Chucky, which could be a Valentine's movie because of the love in the air on that one. But so many good Valentine's horror movies. So we'll probably end up picking one to watch ourselves. Like I said, but yeah, this new character that I'm working on is the Harley Who Laughs. Um, it's a pretty interesting design that they've got for her. Um, of course, it's in the same vein as the Batman Who Laughs. If you've never seen him before, I've done images of him out there. In fact, I've got a sticker, an homage sticker to that Batman on the back wall back there. But right here, as you see that spiked helmet on his head with the big laughter going on. This is my homage sticker to the 1966 March 11th Life cover that has Batman on it, but this is the Batman Who Laughs. And um and so they did her in the same vein as they did the Batman Who Laughs. Now I'm not sure what she's an amalgam of because like it is a combination of Batman and the Joker from the heavy metal line or their metal line, the dark metal or death metal or whichever whatever it's called on the DC side. Um, and I think it was 2018 whenever he came out. I could be wrong on that. You don't hold me to that. Don't hit me with a wet noodle or anything like that. But whenever they created him, it's obviously a parallel world that they created him in, their Earth, whatever, Earth 52 or Earth, whatever they do with their different parallel universes. Not the multiverse like in the MCU, the Marvel Continuity Universe, but they do their whole Earth jumps as well. So um, he is in a different area, not in your typical timeline era. So, and just like this Ultimate Batman, I'm not sure what timeline it takes place on either. Uh, but that is the hot new commodity, the Ultimate Batman, Ultimate Supermans, all that stuff. But Ultimate Batman seems to be the one that's killing it right now. And they've got the Ultimate Joker now. They've got the new Ultimate Poison Ivy. Um, and so they're just recreating all of their characters in this universe. Um, and Batman is this hulking beast of a guy, not this Batman that you see here. Dun dun dun. But he's a hulking beast of a guy, and his bat emblem takes up his whole chest. And I talked about this before on one of the live shows that um, the writer said every time anybody complained about that chest emblem, it just got bigger on the uniform, uh, just to spite uh, their heckling of the logo on his chest, and it's been to fruition because it started out a decent size, and now it covers the entire chest and is spilling over to the side chest a little bit. So there's been a lot of hecklers about that logo. Um, and that look. So he's been true to his word. He keeps going bigger every time with it. Tells the artist, hey, make it a little bigger. Hey, make it a little bigger. So you hecklers out there. But if you looked at my office right now, it looked like a gift shop went off because I've got so many bags of stuff for Valentine's Day. So logo, Greek for a name. Yes, yes, Casey. I don't know the direct descendant of the word logo, but everything comes from the Greek, right? Greek yogurt, oikos. Some of our names are Greek. Some people's names are just Greek to me. But no, I'm having fun with these the Harleys who laugh, and I'm gonna do several with two different masks that she's got, uh, and so I'm looking forward to delving into it a little more. Because she does seem to be an interesting caricature. And I'll just show you what she kind of looks like in one form, version, or another right here. This is a 3D sculpt that somebody did of the design work out there. So she is pretty maniacal looking. She's got spikes jutting out of her body. Her suit is stitched up a lot like the Batman Who Laughs suit is stitched up. But that's just a unpainted sculpt that this company did. Uh, Berserk, I think, is what they're called. I'm not sure if that's what they're actually named, but it's 3D printing at its finest. Um, I see my buddy Santiago Cirillo, who was in The Walking Dead, who I know not personally 100%, but we know each other, and I've been to several of his events for his horror comic convention, basically a horror convention, not a comic convention, but it's more of a horror convention. And he has approached Hasbro because he is doing a new TV series called Back from the Dead, which stars um, his character from The Walking Dead, Julio, and who was taken out in the prison scene or time whenever they were at the prison. I can't remember what season that was. Season 3. I can't remember which season it was. But he supposedly died then, but apparently he didn't die. So they're creating a TV series based off of his character Julio and how he's back from the dead. And so that one should be hitting streaming services pretty soon for your viewing pleasure. But look it up. Back from the Dead is what it's called. But they did approach Hasbro with doing the toy line for this show. They're waiting for a response back. Don't know, if it's going to take off or not. But if not, they're already doing their own toy line, 3D printed toy line, which they should put into mass production, you know, relatively soon, depending. Um, so they've got T-shirts, they've got posters, they've got all kinds of stuff that you can get from him. Just look him up, Santiago Cirillo, CI, out there, and he's on TikTok as well. He's on Facebook. He's on Instagram. Can't miss him. He's an ex-military guy as well. Got a book out there on Amazon, which I do have a copy here at the house, and I think it's in the office or in the library. Um, Pretty sure that's where it's at. So I don't think I've got it sitting in here. If I do, it's buried under mounds of stuff right now. Like I said, it looks like a gift shop has exploded up in here. You guys up here can see it back over here, but you guys, I would have to turn the camera that way, and there it is right there. So there you go. So what are you guys doing out there? What are you guys doing for Valentine's Day? What the hell does that say? 300 days? Big job. It is 100% on their side. But they're always working something. He's got a whole group of people that he works with that are in the industry. Rick Prince does all of their prosthetics and masks and things of that nature. Very, very well versed guy. He's done stuff for Puppet Master and all of that good stuff. Um, I'm not sure what this 300 days is, but okay. Um, we're at 20.8 thousand likes, and we are in the popular live category. So I appreciate that from you guys out there. That helps us out stay relevant to the people out there that are wanting to find new content to come follow for horror, for sci-fi, for comic books, for all the goody good stuff out there in the world. I'm gonna eat bear for Valentine's Day by myself. Oh, well, I mean that's cool. You know the bear meat, or you having other organs to go with it, or is it just the bear meat? Because like a good, I mean, you should have a good heart for Valentine's Day. I mean, it is Valentine's Day. Have the heart. That's a good organ meat for food. Those of you that are joining us, we talk about all kinds of weird stuff. Just a bear, a roast. Okay, cool. That works too. And I have not ordered anything off there yet, but I plan on it because there's a lot of stuff that I want to try. She's a little iffy with it, um, just because she's like, I'm not so sure about that. I'm like, well, it's just meat, you know. Once it's cooked and prepared and it's been seasoned, I'm sure properly from this company. So, just like elk or buffalo, anything like that, ostrich, those type things. Um, Once it's seasoned properly, on the processing side, not the seasoning that you put on it yourself, but the processing of the meat makes a huge difference. And and so that always helps the meat. It's just like deer meat. If you don't process it properly, it tastes like a good liver. Um, It has that what they call the gamey taste to it. So lots will eat McDonald's, but criticize me for heart, etc. Exactly. You know, I was watching a TikTok of a guy that had a nearly a year old. He had McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's, and the McDonald's one was the only one that still looked like it had just came off of the assembly line. It's still, I mean, the bread was a little hard, but the patties still looked like normal patties. The cheese looked like normal cheese. And then you look at the Burger King one, and he goes, it was just flat out rotten. You could see all the mold inside the bag, the Ziploc bag that he had. And then he showed the Wendy's burger, and it was just mold covered as well, starting to ooze and all this good stuff. And but McDonald's was the only one that still looked like McDonald's burger. You know, oh, you got a 300-day sticker for watching your live show. Okay, I had no clue. I've gone live for 300 days. Wow, that's crazy. Um, and it just goes to show the preservatives that you're putting into your body just from eating McDonald's. You know, and he did one that was 100 days on just a normal burger, not anything, not a Big Mac or anything like that, just your normal burger. And he took a bite of a 100-day-old McDonald's burger. He goes, now I don't know if I'm going to, to swallow it or anything like that, but he goes, I'm going to take a bite of this because it does look like it just came off the line still. And he bit it, he chewed it up for a minute, and then he did end up spitting it out um, on the burger. But 100 days, even at 100 days, it still looked like it just rolled off the assembly line. And he even has the receipt for whenever he bought the burger, for that year long burger that he's doing the experiment on. But for it to not deteriorate in 100 days or in a year, what are you putting into your body? You know, it's just crazy. And a lot of people don't care and don't think about it. But working out more that we have been, because we're 7 weeks in. You know, working on 2 months straight of the gym, it you start looking at what you put in your body again. You know, more fruits and vegetables, more, especially homegrown fruits and vegetables. Because if you go to any grocery store, they've got a wax coating on it to make it preserve a little bit longer, make it look shinier and more appealing to you. And then you got to bring it home, wash off that wax. Most people don't because they don't know about it. And just the meats in the grocery store, chock full of preservatives to make them last longer on the shelf. That's why you got a best by date, best use by date, you know, and those type of things. Um, yes, and steam the veggies, absolutely, 100%. It brings out all the nutrients and goody good stuff inside those veggies. Some good steamed broccoli and some good steamed cauliflower. Man, I just got something in my eyeball. A good steamed, and not even just a steamed, but go with a lightly fried up um, cabbage with onion. Good stuff right there. And then Roy's favorite, liver and onions, but he slathers it with a bunch of ranch and mayo, Miracle Whip on it. It's kind of gross. Just like his burritos right now that he's got his red Solo cup that's filled with ranch, and he just sticks that down in there. Say this is his burrito. He just sticks it down in there like that and goes all over that burrito, which is kind of gross. I know that visual was horrifying for some people out there that are just tuning in, but with a little bacon grease in the cabbage and onion. Sorry, this thing is leaked. This is the glaze coat. This is part B. This is the hardener, basically, if you will. Uh, this is what I sealed this little guy with right here. So you see that. Oops, I put them right side up. So you can see that nice sheen on there, and it's nice and thick on there, so that it can stand the test of time of being outside. I've got to seal the backside, so I've got to mix these two together and finish the backside so that I can get it to him so he can finally put it on his tombstone where his dog lays to rest. All right. I was thinking maybe I was going to come up with what I was trying to think of last night as I was laying there, and I should have written it down, but I didn't. I went in and got rid of all the old bags and boards of those comic books that I showed you that we picked up at the antique store the other day. Um, those bags and boards were pretty trashed, and so they've got brand new bags and boards on them now, and the whole waiting on the hair to come in for Mr. Ace Freely over here, which is on its way. I just got an email notification on that yesterday that it's on its way. So looking forward to that and start the cleanup process on him, looking at seeing what I want to do with the outfit to see if I want to try and repaint the outfit um, from what it looks like. I can't believe they actually. I can't believe that this is how the outfit actually looks. You know, if you know, you know. And I mean, it wouldn't be a hard outfit for a seamstress out there to redo, to brighten it up, give me new stuff like that. So I might actually look into doing that, actually, because it's a 3-piece system. You've got this belt system on its own, and then you've got this lower level right here that's in a piece on its own, and then you've got this middle section right here that is of its own piece, you know. And so it would look really cool if it was done with some supple leather, you know, right here instead of just. Uh, I mean, it's got a fake leather look over the top of it, this pleather, but to do it in real leather would be cool. And then, you know, because this is a slight plushed filled material is what this is, where the puffiness is on these. So again, it's something that I could probably do, but I don't have a sewing machine, you know, those type of situations. And I know there's a lot of seamstresses out there that could recreate this for me and make that look, you know, 100 times better, especially with the brand new silver look to it for the Ace Freely um, look there. And then I do plan on 3D printing a guitar, even though these figures did not come with guitars or instruments at all, which is kind of sad because they should have. Um, but again, waiting for the hair to come in, and once the hair comes in, then I'll start the cleanup process. Any touch ups that might need to happen, and we'll go from there. Because otherwise, he's pretty cool, pretty clean action figure. And then I can have him displayed up here behind us, you know, on the wall or down here lower level or something. I don't know where I'm going to put him yet because he's massive. 24 inches of action figure. You know, that's a pretty massive action figure. That rivals a lot of the action figures of back in the day, like if anybody remembers the large King Kong, or not King Kong, the large Godzilla that shot his fist out, you know, and had you push the back of his head and the flames came out of his mouth. Yeah, I've seen those, and I mean that would help because it does give you the multiple lines at once, and you know that is a thought. You know, I do know how to sew because I took home ec in high school, which was an eon ago, but you know I still think I could muddle through it a little bit. But thank you for that information, Latino de Incognito. Latino de Incognito. I like it. It almost puts you in that Spider-Man noir. And but like I said, I could do it, but I know there's somebody out there that's already got all the equipment already. Um, and I'll stick to my paintings and things like that in my artwork. Like Stitch over here, which that one is turning into a little bit of a nightmare, if you will. Not so much a nightmare, but it is just one of those things. These are the new bags and boards that I put on the comic bukas that I had, and then I'm gonna show Mr. Ben Dunn these Ninja High Schools found out in the wild as well. Uh, this Ninja High School has been around for forever, and then of course there's the Dollar Tree finds, and then the girlfriend's book of Mars Attacks right there. But these are the Dollar Tree finds right here. The Batman Rebirth, DC Universe Rebirth, Batman #1, Batman the Dark Knight #1, and Batman 1989 right there. And then I still am in the process of revamping this, doing a Forge, and I'm thinking about doing myself as a Wolverine as well. So, that was done in 1990. This is a more recent piece done just recently, like in the past couple days. I still haven't finished it yet because I'm waiting for payment to come in on this one. But it is going to have a colored background with some shadowing down here underneath Stitch right there. But this is a memorial piece for a friend of ours that passed away. Uh, he is her boss, or was her boss, for the person that he's doing this for. And she was a witch, and she enjoyed Stitch. She enjoyed dragons and other things as well. Again, cool person, gone too soon. And then I'm going to revisit some of my old mashup amalgam drawings that I did back in the day. When, hold on, I need to look at something. A Stitch Witch, yes. Because he wanted something to memorialize her. And she, like he said, she likes Stitch. And, he thought about, do a witch's hat. And so, in some form, fashion, or another. So I created that look right there. When did okay. All right. So yeah. So that one, I'm just waiting for payment to start rolling in on that one, and then I'll finish it up once I start getting some payments on it. Because I do payment plans on my artwork. So, and of course, this is when things go out. You put these on the packaging. So I got all kinds of shit running around over here. My office is an utter disaster mess right now. People, if they were to show up, be like, "How can you even function? You barely can." Then my 8-page comic book right here with the covers. That one's going to print right now. So digital copies are available on legacycomics.com. And from there, um, you can get the digital copy, and then you can also start getting the physical copy, which helps us out. So yeah, these are some of the small stuff that I did on my 365 days of artwork one year, in 2015 apparently. And I mashed up Disney characters or Marvel characters. Like this is Quicksilver and Rabbit hooked together, and he's called Quicket, is what he's called there. And then you've got Tigger and Sabretooth all jiving together, which he's called Saber. And then you've got Angelet, which is Piglet and Angel hooked together. Bum, bum, bum. right there. And then you've got my Pooverine. Pooverine was one of my favorites right there. He was the first one I actually did for it. But Pooverine right there. And I need to revisit some of these. Now, I've revisited Pooverine before, since. I did in 2024 at one of the conventions, I redid another version of him where he's drinking some honey beer. And then I put Lobo and Juggernaut together. I mashed them up together right there. And Lobo, is coming out in the new Supergirl movie, where she's all drunk and stuff. So a lot of people are up in arms about that. But everybody does a little drinking every now and again. And and then my death right there from the Sandman universe, Sandman's sister. Actually, it's Morpheus' sister, I believe. My baby Hellboy right there when he got his first baby Ruth. I like to sleep raccoons in my attic. Then Caesar Ramiro as the Joker right there. These are just old stuff that's just laying around the office. Some some Grogu for you, Baby Yoda as they called him in the beginning. Well, thank you, Mr. Casey. And see, to me, it's just okay. I'm glad people really enjoy it out there. Just some Catwoman sketch still in pencil form, Batman in ink form, right there, with my cross hatching style in there. And then some Dawn, Joseph Michael Linsner's Dawn, right there. Some of these I just need to ink up and do stuff with. This was a little art challenge thing that people had on a group setting. They had Cherry Drizzle was her name, uh, and they wanted to see Lemon Cherry Drizzle, and they wanted to see what our concept would be, and that was mine. Kind of a Tank Girl take on it. Then of course some Aurora Monroe in her punk rock phase. Storm, in other words, with her mohawk. That was always a cool look for her when she had her mohawk. And then, of course, whenever a buddy who no longer talks to me had his podcast with another friend, the other friend still talks to me. This one doesn't. Um, they would review Marvel movies and other movies, but I was doing artwork for him. But now he no longer speaks to me. A Wolverine. And then this one we thought was sold at one point in time, but then they backed out on good old Ghost Rider. And then Kitty Pride with Lockheed. Right there. Just some quick sketches that I did back in the day. I don't do so much warm up sketches anymore because once I get into the office, I go straight to the artwork. There's no sense in doing any warm ups. I know I need to, just to keep things fresh and flowing and all that good stuff. But I go right into it. I just forget about it and just go. Don't worry about the warm ups. Don't worry about this. Well, I appreciate that, Casey. Um, and it's just like other talented people out there in the world, you included. Once you get drop that Spotify album that people can go check out, that'll be awesome. Um, because there's tons of talent out there in the world, and I just share a little bit of mine. And I know I'm not the greatest by any stretch of the imagination, um, but I still bring smiles to people's faces. And that's the main thing. That's the reason why I still do artwork, because I could put the pencil down right now and not do it ever again. You know, but I would be miserable, just like I did whenever I put it down. Whenever my second ex-wife asked me, told me, she didn't ask me. She was like, "Artwork will never put money in the house," you know. And so for nearly 6 years, I put the pencil down. I did not have my glove. I did not have my pencil, and I was miserable for those 6 years. Oh, I appreciate that. Again, but I applaud you guys. Really, I think you guys out there that continue to watch the show, that continue to purchase things, um, that continue to request commissions and things like that. That's a testament to you guys as a collective. So I want to thank each and every one of you out there for the continued support. Um, I was talking to a friend of mine. That's one of the things I was going to talk about. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday that he had a little bit of a falling out with somebody that they were basically inseparable. Um, and they had their falling out, and it's just like people have difference of opinions when it comes to certain things. But does it but does it require a fallout to where you never speak again? Some people, yes, I guess, because that's the case with a friend of ours, not this particular friend, but with another friend of ours who won't speak to us. You know, and used to be inseparable. They used to buy artwork once a month, but now I can't even get them to read a text message or a messenger message. They'll leave it on delivered. You know, and that's fine. You know, and they've switched allegiances and all this good stuff, and it's just like more power to you. You do you. And but you were one of the people that was like, I'll do anything for you. You're just another one of those that turned your back, you know. And it's just is what it is. But we got talking about, they want to do a comic book with me as well. So there's that opportunity getting ready to open up. Um, one of my sponsors, I don't know if I can work with them. They still want to support me, which is okay. But here's the issue: he's a creator in his own right, and I'm not bashing him by any means. Don't take this as a bash. But he's wanting to lean more on the AI side of things, where there is no soul, where there is no heart, where there is no connectivity with the outside world other than here's my key prompts. I just created my whole comic book in 30 minutes or an hour, whatever. And now I can do an animated movie off of my comic book because AI can take all of that and throw it into an animated movie, and boom. Now I've got the comic book, I've got the movie, now I've got the shirts, now I've got this, now I've got that. And he's also wanting to try and do a AI traditional comic book convention at some point in time down the road. I flat out told him I will never use AI. I do not like AI. And he's known my stance from every time he sends me a AI version of his characters coming out. And again, not bashing him, not it could, because it's to each their own. I get wanting to make the money. I get wanting to, you know, get your name out there. I know, I mean, I understand, this, that, and the other, but you're taking the heart and soul out of the process. Yes, it might take me a little while to do 8 pages of consecutive artwork because why? I procrastinate. Shiny. Oh, something's happening over here on the TV that I didn't see before. Um, and then just, I don't feel like doing art today. Whereas, hey, chat, make this happen for me. You know, those type things. And I mean, I get it. I get wanting to make the money. I get wanting the fame. That's what it boils down to. I don't want the fame. Does that make sense? I don't want the fame. I want the smiles. I want the genuinity of. I hand this over to the owner, and he gets teary eyed because there's heart and soul here, not just from the painting aspect, but what it represents. And for me to take the time to immortalize his beloved animal that passed away, and for him to be, smile or get tears in his eyes, and those type, that's what you want whenever you do artwork. Give me a second. 33.6 thousand is where we're sitting at right now, Casey. And so AI artwork takes that art out of it. It takes the heart and soul out of the work. And so, yeah, you can create these cool, amazing pieces that took you 5 minutes to type into a key prompt of what you want, how you want it to look, blah blah blah. But that defeats the purpose of traditional artwork. That defeats the purpose of putting heart and soul into a piece that people love. Anybody can type into a key, into a program, into an app, whatever, and have something come out the other side. Number one, AI takes artwork from somebody else's stuff and then creates. I know we've talked about it before, many, many times before on here. And so that's why I will never back AI when it comes to artwork, when it comes to movies, because I see that they're going to do an AI image of Val Kilmer in some movie getting ready to come out, Dead Days or something like that. I just saw an article on it. Well, we all know Val Kilmer's passed on already, gone. Uh, but now they're going to steal his entire likeness and turn it into an AI image, just like they did for a lot of the Super Bowl commercials, where they've got a lot of AI images out there of the actors and stuff like that for a lot of the commercials that they were doing. And it's just like, it's never going to go away because even while I'm on live, it asks me to do AI stuff. And I'm like, no, I will not do AI stuff. I will not do AI stuff for a Klondike bar. I'm sorry, TikTok. Um, you can fool a lot of people out there with that stuff, but ultimately, it's just like, say, the AI artist goes to comic book conventions and somebody wants a commission from them right there on the spot. Can't do it. Sorry. I can't draw. I can only type. Whereas me, I have my price point on a piece that says get a commission while you wait, get a commission while you walk the convention, and then come back and see what I've done for you. And it might take me 40 minutes, might take me an hour on some pieces, just depending. But I try to blow through them as quickly as I can and give some quality as well. And yes, you can get a Snickers. They have frozen Snickers too, frozen Snicker bars. You can get those at the Dollar General. Um, I think they're $5 now. I think it's a package of six. I could be wrong on that. Could be four. I don't know. But they do have those. But TikTok wants you doing sketchy things for a Klondike bar, not a Snickers bar. And so, bottom line is AI sucks when it comes to heart and soul for you know um, artwork or music or writing. I saw another person, excuse me, that was looking for an author's group that was actually using Word or pen and paper to write their stuff down. And yes, it takes the person out of the equation. Just like I saw a commercial on Tubi just the other day where they've already started rolling out. Um, no, I wouldn't. You can keep your Snickers bar. I will never do anything with AI for anything. So there you go. Where truck fleets are using driverless vehicles to transport goods across the country. That takes the human experience out of it. Um, Now, is that the safest way to go? No, because a truck can only do so much. It's a machine, you know. Yes, they can put all the sensors in the world on it, but it doesn't mean it's not going to get into an accident, you know. But with the human condition in there, no, it wasn't funny, not one bit. The funnier thing is what you would do for AI with your, what you already prove with your avatar, um, that your Miracle Whip is right there with your AI. So it wasn't funny. Did you see me laugh? Did you see me smirk? No. AI has no inkling of an existence with me. Um, Again, there are some funny things out there with AI, you know, and it's just like I get it. I people love their AI. I get it. They love the comedy that it can create, but it also creates problems when it comes to, okay, that person actually really didn't say that. You clip that together in AI format to make it look like someone was implicating themselves in something that they weren't doing. And AI is just horrible. I mean, you know, I probably did. And when it comes to I don't care. I will step on anybody's feeling when it comes to AI because AI sucks. And there is no amount of money to get me to use AI. I've got AI turned off on my phone. I've got AI turned off on my computer. I do not even use the upgraded Adobe products because they use AI, you know? And so, well, that's what my therapist says about me too. I've got no feelers. Um and so I would be using Adobe currently if they still had it on a disk or a program to download. But now everything's on their cloud-based system, everything uses AI, and so it just takes the whole human element out of doing your own work. It's just like with Patrick Nagel's stuff back here. He did a lot of his stuff on computer, which made it look really cool because it made it look like a graphic in some instances. But then he did a lot of painting on his own to where it got, you know, to where it was very hard to differentiate between the two. because it was so subtle of a difference. Um, and just what it boils down to is just do the work. And I know there's a lot of people that don't do artwork, that can't write, that can't this, that can't that, that there are programs out there that can help you with that, but don't go straight to AI. Oh, you leaving because I hurt your feelings? I'm so sorry. Go lather up in Miracle Whip and you'll be okay. Make your skin all soft and supple with the Miracle Whip. So you couldn't last the whole show. I mean, you're very close. You're very close. We've been on an hour, and you came in late anyway. Not horribly late, but you came in late. I know, Roy. I know. And so AI has no part in my life. Everybody wants to push AI, push AI, push AI, and create your avatar in AI. Create this video, do this, record, put your voice in your computer, and let AI take over from there. Well, why would I do that? Again, whenever you get to a convention and people want the voice or they want the drawing to happen right then and there, it can't be done because you didn't do it. You're not the one that created it, you know? And that's why you're seeing a lot of big conventions. And I saw a big convention, one of the mega conventions, that um, put their foot down finally and said no AI artwork, period. Which is following suit with some of the smaller ones that have already done that. And if they find out that you have any AI artwork, period, um, they put a note on your booth. This person is no longer arriving because they use AI artwork, and we did not allow them to come to the show as a vendor, which is awesome because, like Casey said earlier, it takes the human experience out of the whole situation and puts it into a computer based system. And again, we're never going to get rid of AI, period. We're never going to get rid of, you know, technology advancing. It's things that we have to learn to live with, unfortunately. Um, but pretty soon, like Cameron said with Terminator, it's going to become a sentient being. It's going to take over in places we didn't want it to take over. And, this isn't conspiracy theory. This isn't, I told you so's or anything like that. It's just inevitability. The computers are going to learn. The computers that build computers are going to learn. And the computers that build AI people are going to learn. So, iRobot, um, the list goes on and on. I mean, the companion, the whatever one that was with Megan Fox, the surrogate or something like that. All that stuff is going to come to fruition pretty soon. I mean, I've already seen one on TikTok that they are using, you know, rubberized skin and stuff like that on these AI bodied robots, basically. And they're trying to perfect it to the point where you can't differentiate between a human and them, you know. And it's just like inevitability is going to be where we're going to have them walking among us. And who says we already don't, you know? But AI is not for me. AI will never be used here. Again, like I said, I've got everything as far as I can get turned off as far as AI goes. It's all turned off. If it asks me, do you want to run AI? I hit no. Because that's just me. I will never use it. I would rather hand draw all of my stuff and exactly, exactly. That's what I was just talking about. When Cameron, with the Terminator whole situation, and the whole Skynet taking over the world when it did. It's the same difference. So, and everybody calls it something different. So, but yes, I've seen Skynet before when it comes down to the whole artificial intelligence side of things. But yeah, so that's why I can respect the person that uses it, but I can't respect it taking away from people and the environment. You know, absolutely. I remember that. So yeah, so there's that. You know, and it all boils down to, are you going to let it into your existence? You know, because I don't. Like I said, I've got it all turned off as much as I possibly can on all of my equipment. Um, no AI here, you know, even though there's possibly AI stuff that goes with all this stuff, but I don't have it turned on. Um, and now they want to reopen 3 Mile Island to power it. Oh, absolutely. I mean, why not? There's tons of good processing on that island that's still usable and can be updated. You know, so yeah, AI is not for me, and I know a lot of people love it. Like I said, they love their memes that come out, their little videos, especially with the Yetis and Bigfoots and stuff like that. But some of it just goes too far, um, and you can tell AI videos over anything else, um, just because of, it starts out this way and then boom, it's this way, and there was no transition in there; it just happened, you know. And then there's little subtle differences and things like that, just like in the videos that you saw at the Super Bowl commercials that had a lot of AI involved in them. And then they're wanting to push AI on a regular basis, just like the Matthew Broderick commercial, you know, where now you can go do whatever you want to because your work is already done because you just let this program do it for you. Instead of taking 45 minutes, it only took 7. Now you got extra time to do what you want while you're at work. Yeah, no. All it's doing is going to be replacing the human existence, like we've talked about. Assist us, yes. Yes, that's supposed to assist us, but it's going to take over us. And people just don't realize it yet. And those of you that are going to be unemployed, sitting at home not drawing a paycheck because AI took your job, and you're using AI on a regular basis, we tried to tell you. We tried to tell you. I mean, even James Cameron tried to tell us a million years ago, you know, whenever Terminator came out, whenever Skynet dropped. So, yeah. But again, to each their own. I can't condone you for using AI if that's what you're going to use. Um, Me, I will never use it. I will pick up my pencil, my eraser, my pens, and do everything, and paintbrushes. Let me pull some of those out too. And do everything the traditional, old fashioned way. You know, and it might not be as smooth as some of the AI stuff out there when it comes to how it processes the colors and all that good stuff. But I don't care about that. I will make it with a soul, with a heart and soul, instead of cold wiring and circuitry. And I can paint that too. All right, fellers. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to kill it for today. I hear some aminals moving about. But as I like to say as I leave you guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.